everyone. It is incredible to be back with you. It's been a while since I've been filming, and on behalf of my entire family, I would just like to say thank you. I have experienced an outpouring of support that is unlike anything I've ever experienced. I've received literally hundreds of email and messages on social media, all kinds of stuff from so many of you all over the world, telling me that you're praying for us, that you have just expressed your well wishes and thoughts. Man, people from all over the world have reached out, and it has been just so humbling, and it's been ridiculously kind of you. So there was no way I was going to start filming a video without taking the first few minutes to just thank you for the outpouring of support and love. For those of you that come from faith, your prayers and standing with us. For those of you that don't come from faith, just your well wishes and your kind words. They have meant more to me than I could ever express. I could do 100 video blogs and I would never be able to express to you the gratitude that is in my heart for your kindness. Living in the public eye can be really challenging and really tough. And in this moment of time, having people like you express your support and your thoughts and wondering where I've been, it's been moving. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I'm not going to get emotional in the very first video that I make coming back. But I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, from the depth of who I am as a man, I thank you, I honor you, and I appreciate you so very much. As we get back into it, as they say, today I'm going to talk to you about seasons. In life, there are seasons, right? There's winter, there's summer. Here in Austin, summer is tough. We can get 20 to 30 days of 100+ degrees with unbearable humidity, and it can be awful. And the truth is, when you're trying to heal from infidelity, whether you're an individual or whether you're a couple, there are just going to be some seasons that are incredibly challenging, that it's like you're a wet towel and you're being wrung out. And it is awful. It's incredibly painful. And like when you're in Austin and you've had 20 or 30 days of 100+ degree heat and 90% plus humidity, and then there's this one day where the weather cools and you get this little breeze and you think, oh, thank God for that little breeze. And you can be in recovery and have so many days of just awfulness and agony, and then there's that one day where you go, oh, we had a great day. And in recovery, there are seasons as well. There's seasons of absolute despair. There's seasons of hopelessness. There's seasons of immense grief that you only know what that grief is like if you're going through it. And so as I talk about that grief, I know for many of you, you feel it. You understand it. It provokes a response inside of you because you only know that grief if you've been through it. There's seasons of momentum building where you start to see some hope and you start to generate some momentum between you as a couple or even just as an individual, and you start to kind of take some deeper breaths and go, man, whew, feels good to hope. There's also seasons of just uncertainty where you have no idea what's going to happen with your relationship. You have no idea what your life will look like in the next 30 days, 100 days, or several decades. And it's the season where you just go, I want control. I want security. I want definition to my life. This season is horrible. There's going to be those types of seasons in recovery, I promise you. I'm sorry to tell you, there's no way around it. And we go through seasons where it just makes you contemplate, is it even worth it? Is my life and my purpose and my value and my meaning, in light of the infidelity or addiction, is it even worth it to go through this difficult season? Now, when we discuss seasons, there is some good news. Seasons don't last forever. And I've been through some dark seasons where I've thought it was going to last forever, or it felt like it had been that way forever. And I remember certain seasons, because I come from faith, having moments with God saying, this is too much. This is too difficult. I can tell you honestly, there was a time things were so rough. I remember driving down the road and I just simply said, now because I come from faith, this was quite palatable for me. And I remember just holding an imaginary white flag and going, okay, devil, you win. You win. It's too tough. We're not going to make it. It's too much. If you don't come from faith, I'm sure you've had moments where you've just been like, I give up. It's too hard. It's requiring too much. He or she won't get it. I can't get it. I give up. See, seasons don't last forever, but it feels like they do. And when you're going through different seasons just with temperature and with weather, you dress differently. Your outfits change, right? You check the weather so much more often because you're wondering what's outside waiting for you. And the difference between weather seasons and recovery seasons is we have some control over recovery seasons. We can shorten them or we can lengthen them. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to throw out a disclaimer because I always have to do this. Just because it's a season does not mean that we as unfaithful, for example, can say, hey, it's just a season. You should get over it, betrayed spouse. It's just a tough season. Come on, suck it up, get over it. Make this season shorter because Samuel said you should be able to make this season shorter. That's not the approach that ever will work with your betrayed spouse. That's not an approach that will ever work in recovery because that's minimizing the pain and the agony that a betrayed is going through. It's minimizing the effect of our choices upon another human being. It is minimizing the trauma that a betrayed spouse is having to absorb in their life. No, seasons can be changed, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But there is no way on this earth that I would ever use, oh, it's just a season, as a tool to minimize what you're feeling, because what you're probably feeling right now is intense and awful. And even if you're an unfaithful spouse, I'm sure you're going through a season of immense agony, grief, regret, self-hatred, shame. Man, I get it. I absolutely get it. But I want to tell you as well, unfaithful, it's a season and it doesn't have to last forever. And if you will do your work, you can actually shorten that season. Now, I've said a lot, but here's one of my final thoughts about seasons is ultimately seasons, if you use them right, can be absolutely transformational. I can just tell you there's some seasons that I've had to walk through that were transformational in an enormously positive way. And there were some seasons that I went through that really bent me. In fact, when I waved that imaginary flag, some seasons broke me. And I want to tell you, my hope, my prayer on behalf of all of a fair recovery, we want you to know that if you use it right, this season can be transformational. And here's how you shorten seasons, or here's how you actually can lengthen seasons. You see, when you're in the middle of a difficult season, when we make right choices, when we get expert help, when we decide to go all in, or when we decide that maybe it's time to trust an objective outside third party, we can actually shorten that season of confusion and chaos and collateral damage that seems unending, where it just seems like one domino after another starts to fall and you just feel like, can I get some relief? And there's those seasons where it's like, boom, here's a punch in the face. This is real. Boom, here's another punch. You thought you were getting better, but boom, body blow. And it's just like punch after punch. And I want to tell you that it's absolutely possible for you to begin to take that season of hopelessness, despair, and chaos and actually say, look, I'm not going to live like this forever. I'm going to shift and empower myself. And maybe that's get expert help. Maybe that's invite an objective expert third party into your situation. Maybe it's taking a course on our website or going to an EMS weekend or finding an expert therapist where you say, look, I'm not going to live like this anymore. I'm going to do all that I can and empower myself to shorten this season. Alternatively, here's how we can lengthen some seasons. We can decide, maybe when things are going well, this will scare the hell out of you unfaithful, but the best time to work on your marriage, and I've said this before, is when things are starting to go well. We feel like, man, things are going well. Don't rock the boat. Wrong. That's the best time to lean in and go, hey, how are you doing with triggers? How are you doing with reminders? How are things going in your own heart? Samuel, are you crazy? I can hear your voice. No, I'm not crazy, but the best time to work on your marriage is when things are going well because you have positive momentum. So you actually look smarter than you are because right on the middle of a good day, you say, hey, honey, how are you feeling? How are you doing? I just want to check in with you. Your betrayed goes, what? You're not avoiding? You're not like minimizing, blame shifting? You're actually connecting with me? Man, that's life-changing. We can shorten seasons of chaos and calamity by deciding, you know what? I'm not going to run from this. I'm not going to avoid this. I'm going to hold my ground. I'm going to face this difficult season, and I'm going to get out of it everything I can get out of it. If we want to see our season become transformational, here's the biggest thing I can tell you. When I'm in Austin and the heat is sweltering. I'm out there coaching baseball. It's 120 degrees on turf, and I'm trying to manage these kids and just getting after it. And I start to just hate it. I hate how hot it is. God, why am I here in Austin? I hate this place. There's no beach close. It's just the humidity, my air conditioning bill. I hate it. I can't stop sweating, my hair. And I just start to complain and bitch and moan. There comes a point where I say, you know what? It could be a whole lot worse. Or, you know what? It's just going to be like this. I can stop fighting it, and I can embrace it and go, okay, I'm going to change the way I approach this, the way I dress. I'm going to make adjustments to my thermostat. If I have to pay a little bit more per month just to be a little bit more comfortable, so be it. But I'm going to stop complaining and embrace the season I'm in and say, okay, how can I get the most out of this season for me? There comes a point where you stop fixating on your spouse and you say, look, I can't control what they're doing, but I can focus on me. Marriages don't change unilaterally. It's not like a couple sits down and goes, hey, you know what? We need to change. Spouse says, yeah, you know what? Let's do it. Typically what happens is one spouse says, I can't keep doing it. I can't live like this anymore. I've got to make changes. I've got to get healthier. And when that spouse gets healthy, the other one is forced. They've come to a fork in the road where they have to say, do I get healthy too, or do I stay the same? I hope that no matter what season you're in today, you'll start to embrace it. You'll make the choices that you need to make. You'll be brave. You'll be courageous. It's been wonderful to be with you again. Thank you so much.